cut all of my hair off. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration, like, obviously there is still some here, but before it went to below my boobs and now it doesn't even reach the bottom of my chin. It's quite a change, and I like it, but I'm also, every so often I go to like put all of my hair up and I'm like, oh god, where's it all gone? My friend said that I had cut it into a bisexual bob, and I said it was more than that because it's too short to be just a bisexual bob. It's a bisexual bob for someone who has a newborn, because it's very much a kind of like, you can't grab this hair if you're a baby. It's not like it's on my shoulders and stuff, so if you have a baby in your arms, they can't reach. So I very much feel like this haircut is now maybe not how I'll keep my hair until I have a baby, but definitely when I have kids, this will be the haircut that I instigate having, as a kind of like, and now they can't pull my hair. I was like, I'm 22 now, I feel like I need to be more of a grown-up, whatever that means, and like look more businessy somehow. I don't really know. I want to be a musician. Looking businessy is actually detrimental, but whatever. So I was like, cut my hair, get rid of all those split ends and the dye that's faded and the bleach that's damaged it all at the bottom. So I got my friend Katie and I was just like, hey, while you're staying over this weekend, should we cut my hair? And she was like, okay, I mean, that's a little bit scary and pressure. And I was like, it's fine, I trust you. And she's like, I mean, you're the, like, I'll happily watch you cut your hair. And I was like, oh no, you're gonna hold the scissors. Which she got a little bit freaked out about, but it was fine, and I feel like it's pretty even. Like, considering that I did most of this and she evened it up, I feel like it's pretty good. I've also talked about my hair for 4 minutes, so we're going to move on. I'm going to do something slightly different from normal. I'm going to do my first attempt at doing a Let's Play. I think that's what they're called. I don't understand YouTube gamer terminology. And I'm gonna play some Mini Metro because I want to talk about some stuff, and I think Mini Metro is a good medium through which to talk about them. So I'm gonna do that. But also, I know nothing about how to do gaming, and I don't own a games console. So we're doing a Steam game because I have this game, and if it wasn't gonna be this, it would be a game off my phone, and that's even worse. So we're gonna play some Mini Metro. Given that we're in London right now, I think I'm gonna play Mini Metro. If you haven't played Mini Metro before, basically the game starts. I'm just gonna pause it while I explain this. The game starts, and what you're looking at right now is the Thames, in the river that goes through the middle of London. And this screen has got a little triangle on the south side of the river, and then a circle and a square on the north side of the river. Basically, what you're doing in Mini Metro is creating the tube network to link the different stations together. And what will appear next to the stations are tiny versions of the same shapes, and they're people, and the shape that they are is the destination station that they want to get to. So the aim is to try and connect your stations enough that people can get from one station to another. That's the basic gist. I'm going to play it and then you can see how it works. So, my first person is there. I quite like to start with a loop. It doesn't really do much to start, like, part of the reason that I wanted to play this game, and why I'll get onto it in a minute, but like, the start of this game is quite calm. The game itself doesn't have music, it's just quite calm. But every so often you get a new station that's added in. I don't know if this is interesting. Like, I don't really watch Let's Plays. I just wanted to talk about Mini Metro. So yeah, I don't know if this is super interesting for other people. I feel like watching people play Mini Metro could be nice. Oh, I'm nearly at the end of the week. I'm going to leave this little circle in the top right for as long as I can. Let's connection now. And I think what I'm going to do is connect that one and that one. Because of how slow this is going, I'm going to turn my speed up. And square. So I really like Mini Metro because it's a game where you can go quite slowly. Like, I'm playing at double speed and it's still quite calm to start with. And because it doesn't really do music or have any of that kind of like attitude of like, here's how it's going to get really, really tense. It just continues to be super chill and relaxed. I feel like I'm never kind of going, oh my god, oh my god. At least to start with. And it also allows you to pause the game to restructure stuff, which is what I've been doing. The reason that I wanted to do a video where I talk about Mini Metro is because I feel like it's a really good example of how quickly you can be overstretched. So when this game started, it feels really slow. Like, I have sped this game up to play it because I feel like it doesn't move fast enough for me when I first start playing. But I the way that you lose in this game is if a train station gets overcrowded. If there are too many people waiting at a station, then what happens is that a person in that station dies. And then the whole tube network gets shut down. As it should. Maybe not in a big metropolitan city as it should, but like in the game, what happens is that you are no longer trustworthy to build the tube network. And so it all shuts down. But you can get really, really close to overcrowding and not overcrowd. And that's kind of how the game, like, you nearly lose quite often. So it's quite easy to get to a point of nearly dying and then come back from it. But I think this game does a really good job of showing how far you can continue to get whilst almost being dead, but also how much more of the game you can play knowing that you can never win. So like right now there's nothing, I mean there's slightly something I can do there, but very little really. Like, I don't think this is going to save me from the beeping one in the top. Oh, no, it is. Okay. But, so, like, you can play quite a lot of the game even after you know that you're going to die. Because it's not necessarily that the station that is overcrowded right now is going to kill you. But as soon as you're getting to having that many stations being overcrowded, that starts to become quite worrying. And like there's not much that can be done about it. And I think it's a really good gamification. Not like personification, but like a game version of pressurized burnout. And I had a really good chat with my friend yesterday about prioritizing work I want to do and burnout and like focusing my energy on stuff, because this year I'm finishing my degree, but also trying, like within that it involves writing a dissertation and trying to plan a really difficult project and do YouTube regularly and write songs and like 1,000 other things, plus making YouTube videos, plus like trying to do the volunteer work that I do, and I can't even remember what all of the other things are. And so because I'm trying to do all of this stuff, what happens is that I really, really easily get to a point where I'm like, I physically can't do any more, but I can't not do any of the things I've committed to. And I feel like one of the best examples that I've ever seen when I've tried to explain to people how I feel is playing Mini Metro. Because people are kind of like, oh, well, just step back from some things. But in a lot of those situations, at least for me, they're not things I can step back from. I can't step back from some parts of my degree. I'm either doing a degree or I'm not. So if I'm intending to do a degree, I'm doing the degree. And that really means for me, I know. And the other side of that is that I am doing lots of volunteer work. I can't stop doing the volunteer work because often I'm the only person volunteering. So if I don't do it, literally no one else is going to do it. Where do these need to go? I filled up that track? So because of this thing I've done, I can't not do the things that I'm doing. One thing that ends up happening, I can't, it's very much like in this game, I can't stop doing any of the things that I'm doing. The only thing that I can do is try and balance as much of them as I can. Quite fittingly, I have now died. Let's play a different city. Let's play Melbourne. So what happens is that I end up just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and trying to last for as long as you can. But that's quite difficult. And I think people think that the thing to do is say, well, just remove whole things. That's the solution. Just don't do one of the things. Drop a thing. Take a step back. But actually, that doesn't help. Like, doing it helps, but it's very rare that you're able to kind of say, I'm just going to take a step back from this. Particularly, like, even if the things that I was doing weren't things like doing a degree, and were instead just only things that I wanted to do, I want to do all of them. I don't want to take a step back. The reason that I like doing this thing is because I enjoy it. So I find it really hard to ever kind of think about, oh, I'm feeling overworked and I've got too much on. The solution is do less stuff. So instead, the things that I find helpful are very much similar to this game of playing Mini Metro. Of, I want to be able to see everything at once, which I can't do. I want to have as much information as humanly possible. So, like, if you knew at the very beginning of a game of Mini Metro, and obviously it would make a terrible game, but if you knew at the very beginning of the level where every single station that was going to be, and you knew all of the line colours that you could have, and all of the carriage numbers that you could have, you could plan in advance. The bit that makes it difficult is the time pressure. So when I get really stressed by playing Mini Metro, I will play at normal speed, which is what's currently playing. I've put it up to double again now. But if I'm finding it too much, if the level is quite hard, then I'll switch to playing at single speed so that it's less pressure. So that's one thing, but obviously in real life you can't make time go slower, but having more time for each project, so being able to plan further in advance, really useful. But also having as much information as possible. Being able to plan far in advance and move pieces before they're needed is really, really, really useful. And that's true in the game, and it's true in life. Like, I would get so much more done if I was able to know before I even started everything that I would need, everything that would come up, and everything that I would have to plan around. That's true for everyone. And obviously that doesn't work because you can't know every problem that's going to come up and you can't plan that far ahead. But it has been like, there are times that kind of thinking does help. So if I'm trying to do a new project, one of the things that I think about right away at the very, very beginning of planning stages is even the stuff right at the end, because knowing all of the pieces that you need across the whole time makes planning so much easier. And it also helps if you have the end goal. So obviously this game you can't just base it entirely off what's actually true, but I feel like I plan bits of this game better on days when I think about how the real London Underground works, because that's a finished product. So if I start a project and I have a version of a finished project to look at, part of the reason that helps so much is because I can then think about what my version looks like at the end. It's not about saying this is going to be exactly the same, but it gives me a visual representation of what am I aiming towards. And I think that works really, really well with planning and in a avoiding of burnout kind of thing. But yeah, I wanted to have a bit of a chat about Burnout, and I felt like this as a game was a relatively nice way to do it. I can't remember how much Steam charges for Mini Metro. I don't think it's loads. Or at least I don't remember it being lots. Yeah, this is the only game that I own on Steam. I want to get Democracy 3, but that's more money and takes more brain power than Mini Metro does. So I also just like, it's a very nicely designed game, I think, which is always what I look for in games, really. Like, all of my favourite games are ones where the design is beautiful. I feel like I'm kind of stuck in a position of having to keep playing. I don't know how long a Let's Play is. I feel like they're quite long. But also it's 9 o'clock at night and I feel like maybe I should go to bed soon. Or at least have dinner. I should probably do that. Yeah, I feel like I might be dying soon. Well, I said that last time and kept playing for ages, so who knows, maybe I'm fine. Oh no, I'm definitely not fine. Carriage. Wilby Avenue. What else is ticking? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna die. If you have enjoyed watching me play Mini Metro, let me know. I could do more of these. I could do more of playing other games and telling you what I find them comparative to, but I could also just do... I didn't die. Oh no, I did. Yeah. Overcrowding at this station has forced your metro to close. But yeah, if you liked this kind of thing, I don't know what else I would do a Let's Play with. Like, I could do more Mini Metro, or I don't know. I also quite like other games. But if you liked this, let me know. I just wanted a chill thing where I could talk a bit about burnout and stress without me having to like just look at the camera and talk at you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week.